glorious Sunday afternoon in Indianapolis from the Selig Bowl for our first day in the postseason for women's college soccer. It's the first round of the 2019 Big East Women's Soccer Tournament, and it's brought to you by Jeep. I'm Matt Schumacher. He is Paul Frischner. It's Butler. It's Providence. We've done this dance before, Paul. This is the fourth time these teams will meet in the postseason since conference realignment. Butler have won all previous three matchups, including the 2015 championship in which the Dogs won their only Big East tournament title. Here is what we're playing for today as we take a look at our graphic showing you the tournament field. Butler and Providence, the winner of this, has a date with three-time champion Georgetown. And then on the other side, Paul, Xavier, a team that you've seen a lot, awaits the winner of Villanova and DePaul. As we take a look at our matchup here this afternoon at Butler, what's one thing you're really eyeing here?
Well, Providence, they have to do something, Matt, to change things up. They've lost 3 straight and 4 of their last 5. You really want to be trending up as you go into the end of the season and postseason play. That's when, as teams say, you want to peak. But right now, they got to do something. Got to throw a curveball. What are we going to see today out of Providence that says we can advance, we can take down Butler for the first time in a long time in the postseason?
It is a peculiar Providence side this season. It's the first time since Sam Lopes joined the program that they've had a sub-500 record in conference play, and yet they find themselves here in the conference tournament. For me, the thing that I'm looking at, how does Butler adjust defensively? Annika Schmidt out of the lineup against Xavier. That proved to be disruptive. Xavier scoring 2 goals against a Butler side that hadn't given up a goal in the previous 5 matches. We had our Chelsea Groves, the third member of our team, talking with Sam Lopes earlier today before kickoff. Here's our interview.
You're seeking that first tournament win over Butler, a familiar postseason matchup. You end the regular season with a 4-1 loss against Seton Hall. How do you rally back today?
Just everything is in the rearview mirror. It doesn't matter what's happened in the past. It's the beauty of American playoffs. Everything you do in the regular season is just to be one of whatever the amount of teams get into postseason, and all the goals, records, and stuff go out the window, and it's just about the 90 minutes today.
And since you've seen this team quite a bit the past couple of years, I mean, is there a certain spark to this year's matchup?
No, I think it's just a credit to them and us that we, in a very demanding league, always seem to be in the playoff hunt for the conference tournament championship. And it's going to be no different than in the past. It's going to be a difficult game. We're at their place, which they play a bit differently than they do on the road. And we have a plan in place that we think will give us the best chance to win, and have the complete confidence in the group that they're going to do what they can to just score one more goal than them.
Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome.
Chelsea, as you talked about, Paul, Sam Lopes and his staff looking for something, a spark, an adjustment that will catapult them into the next round. They've never beaten Butler in the postseason. The Dogs are 8-3 all-time against Providence. Speaking of Butler, you're talking about trending upwards. Certainly you could say that for the Dogs, who have won 5 of their last 6. How do they adjust after falling to Xavier in what was the Big East regular season championship match?
Yeah, and that's just a few days ago right here at home. You have so much riding on that, and you want to set your sights on just getting a bye, getting to Omaha right away, but then you fall at home. You can't get past and get to Omaha straight away. You got to come here and take care of business. So it's going to take a bit of an adjustment. Make sure your mindset's good to go into this match. But like we've talked about at length here in this pregame show, these two teams are familiar with each other, and Butler, an 8-3 overall record against Providence all time. And history would say that Butler should feel good about themselves today.
Absolutely, and Butler feels really good at home. In spite of that loss against Xavier, they've only lost 1 conference match at home since 2016. That was to the Musketeers just a few nights ago. And speaking of Butler, Chelsea Groves caught up with Butler co-head coach Rob Allman.
Coach, a chance at a first-round bye a few days ago against Xavier, but you're still on your home turf. Coming off a loss at this point in the season, what do you tell your team?
Yeah, just regroup and go again, to be honest. There's obviously some disappointment afterwards in the locker room, but it's a group that understands, and we've preached this for years. We don't get too high with the high, don't get too low with the lows. We knew ultimately we were going to have another game to go play anyway after that game, and we've got another good opponent today.
The last 3 postseason games against Providence, you're 3-0. How do you continue that streak?
I think our possession game again is going to be very, very important in terms of controlling the game that way. We've outpossessed all 9 of our opponents through the regular season. So it's a platform that we like to build from. Doesn't win us games, but allows us to control games. So that'll be a focus in the play today. And then I think our counter-pressing game is going to be very, very important. If we get that right, it'll allow us to isolate McNulty a little bit up top. And we think we can then stay on the front foot through the game.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chelsea. Certainly setting up what is expected to be a highly anticipated matchup between Providence and Butler. It's the 6th seed Providence against the 3 seed Butler, who have been nearly unbeatable on this turf here at the Selleck Bowl. We will have Chelsea roaming the sidelines all afternoon. Paul and I will be up in the booth. We're delighted to bring you the action at the top of the hour. Coming up next, it's kickoff on the Big East Digital Network.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
You have 4 years to help you figure out the meaning of life. Do you realize what a great gift this is?
I think of college as a moment of pilgrimage.
You'll go places you never thought you'd go. You'll meet people you never thought you'd meet. And you will experience things that are so rich that you can hold on to them forever.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Divine Providence. It's a reason why Providence is making that trajectory toward greatness.
If we get you on this campus and you just walk around for an hour or so, you're going to feel something that's qualitatively different.
Providence College is a place that has helped people think, thrive, and achieve. Divine Providence is right here. Open your eyes.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
4 years to help you figure out the meaning of life. Do you realize what a great gift this is?
I think of college as a moment of pilgrimage.
You'll go places you never thought you'd go. You'll meet people you never thought you'd meet. And you will experience things that are so rich that you can hold on to them forever.
Back on an absolutely glorious Sunday afternoon in Indianapolis, the team's getting set to take the pitch. Our central referee this afternoon is Lucas Smethers as we take a look at our starting goalkeepers. And for the Providence Friars, it is Shelby Hogan, who is in her 4th season with the program, her 3rd on the pitch as a redshirt junior, has made 18 starts in her career. Last year, it was a 3-time Keeper of the Week with 9 clean sheets. This year hasn't been as clean in the back, and that is partly because of some of the struggles that they've had on the back line.
Yeah, then they're going to be looking for some big defensive stands today, Matt. I mean, that's what it's going to take. They're really going to need a perfect game, as we've said. And it's doable. We've seen Providence pull off this before as a 6th seed. This is not something that they're new to, but they're going to really need some strong effort today.
Then on the other side for the Butler Bulldogs, an absolutely phenomenal keeper, Stephanie Rodriguez, who could potentially be the Keeper of the Year this season. She's going for 10 clean sheets. If she gets it today, that would be the single-season record for program history.
I mean, that's absolutely incredible. And if Butler can ride that momentum, ride the wave of Stephanie Rodriguez in net, they should be looking solid for a matchup against the Hoyas from Georgetown on Thursday out in Omaha. But, I mean, this is one of those things, Matt, where you get into postseason play, you wipe the sheet clean, and you say, really, anybody can do anything. And Providence, like I said, we've seen them as the 6th seed. Pull this off before. The Friars, no stranger to the situation that they're in right now. And these two teams just met not too long ago, just a few days ago, at Providence. There it was a 1-0 victory for the Butler Bulldogs. The slimmest of margins for a victory for the Bulldogs, but now back here at home, we'll see what Butler can do against the Friars. Butler trying to get back to their winning ways after suffering that loss to the Musketeers from Xavier on Thursday.
Here is a look at the Providence Friars lineup. We told you about Hogan at the back of the starting 11. 2 players to watch out for. Hannah McNulty, of course, who has led this team in scoring the last 3 years. She has 8 goals this season. Amber Birchwell in the midfield. She is sort of the mix that stirs the drink, if you will, for this Providence side. She is the engine in the midfield and can really be a dynamic player going forward, which they will need today against a Butler side that doesn't allow a whole lot of goals. As you take a look at the starting 11 for the Dogs, we'll have more on some of the personnel changes later on in the show from Chelsea Groves, but Butler without Annika Schmidt, who has been their starting center back for the last 3 seasons. We saw them get exploited a little bit against Xavier on Thursday night. How do they adjust today? Anya Savage, one of Butler's leading goal scorers. Katie Soderstrom as well, who is on the bottom of your screen right now, left in the second half of the Xavier match and is getting the start today in spite of being a little bit banged up. But that's postseason soccer.
That's exactly right. And Matt, what a just incredible day. Thursday here for Xavier and Butler. It was miserably cold, precipitation falling. It's been a rough few days of weather in the Midwest, but here today, Butler and Providence really couldn't ask for much better weather.
We're underway from Indianapolis. Butler in the home white, Providence in the away dark uniforms. Butler have won 5 of their last 6 matches. And a whistle immediately from Lucas Smathers will send it back to the Dogs. And let's send it down to the third member of our team, Chelsea Groves, for an update on the Butler lineup today.
Thanks, guys. Matt, like you said, the injury update for Butler. Annika Schmidt still out. An ankle injury she suffered in practice. The adjustments that have been made, Morgan Kloosterman goes from center midfielder to center back. Anya Savage from center forward to center midfielder, and Gretchen Skoglund from the bench to center forward. A front foot focused Butler team today.
Yeah, Chelsea, great stuff from the sideline. Butler playing 4 true forwards and 4 true midfielders. And if you're keeping track at home, that means 2 natural defenders on the field for Butler today.
Yeah, pressing forward, the Bulldogs looking, as Chelsea just said, putting their front foot forward to really press on the gas and keep that offensive attack in motion.
One thing about having Morgan Kloosterman, too, on the back line is somebody who has spent so much of her 30-plus starts possessing the ball in the midfield. She gives Butler a really good look as they try to build from the back, something that has been an MO of this program since Terry St. John took over.
You can see both teams waiting patiently here to begin the match. As Butler tries to exploit some defensive weaknesses here from Providence down the right sideline.
Soderstrom on Verhoeven and knocked out for a Butler throw. Here is Amanda Kowalski, who likes to come up in the attack. Plays a right wing back position for Butler. Very versatile. Macy Miller. Kowalski into the area, but nobody home. One thing that Rob Allman emphasized to Chelsea in the pre-match interview was possession. And they need to get back to that after they were dominated in possession by Xavier on Thursday night.
And credit to the Musketeers, too, for the program they've put together, now taking the #1 seed in the Big East tournament, taking down the Georgetown Hoyas. Georgetown slipping up toward the end of the regular season, dropping a match, and that loss allowed Xavier to slip in and get the 1 seed, which is something we haven't seen yet in the Big East, the reformed Big East.
Quite a remarkable run for the Musketeers, who have actually never been a 1 seed in the history of the program, regardless of conference. Gives you an idea of the parity in this league this season. Here is Skoglund. Gretchen Skoglund has been an impact player off the bench this season, but getting the start at central forward this afternoon due to some personnel changes for the Dogs. Providence come in having lost their last 3 matches, including a 4-1 defeat to DePaul. Kloosterman into the area, headed on by Skoglund. And out for a Butler throw. That was a beautiful ball in from Morgan Kloosterman. And you can still see, even at the center back position today, getting very much involved in the attack.
Yeah, and you know, Matt, going back to a point that you made just a minute ago, you talk about the parity in this league, and I feel like that's something that when we talk to these coaches all throughout the Big East in any sport, but as it relates here to women's soccer, as these teams continually get better, it just creates so much of an opportunity for postseason expectations and for these teams to gain higher rankings and RPI, all of that, just because of how good this Big East league has become. The quality of the teams in the league have just improved so much in the last few seasons. And you even look at a team like Seton Hall, who was struggling for their first conference win, but they put 4 goals up on on Providence just a few days ago to close out the regular season.
Providence as the 6th seed. 2 of the last 4 seasons, they've been the 6th seed, and they have knocked off the 3 seed. And Sam Lopes, who has 2 wins coming by way of penalty kick knockout in his time at Providence. Both of those wins, I believe, were as the 6th seed. This is a team that can certainly cause the upset, but as history has shown us, Butler has been so solid in this tournament, and especially against the Friars.
Yeah, they have. Butler all-time, as we mentioned in the Open, 8-3 against Providence, but Providence, the history on their side with that stat, coming in as the 6th seed. I mean, this was as close as it could be just about a few days ago, with Providence coming up and nearly coming away with the draw there as we see this one played in, but Butler with that 1-0 victory in Providence in the regular season just about a week ago.
Sam Lopes all-time in the Big East tournament, 2-5-2. Now, they have 1 more games, but as far as the record reflects, those 2 ties were the penalty kick advancements that we just talked about a mention ago. As Soderstrom plays this back post and punched out by Hogan. Finally cleared off the back line momentarily for Providence. And Hogan again, that time clutching it in her mitts.
Yeah, it looked like that one was going to be played in as a cross, but toward goal, and Hogan nearly was carried back across the line.
Those 2 outright wins that were won in regulation for Providence, they actually both came last season to St. John's and DePaul, advancing Providence all the way to the semifinal where they met the Dogs and ultimately fell in Butler's 2nd consecutive run to a tournament title matchup with Georgetown. And the irony in all of this, the winner of this matchup plays Georgetown in the semifinal.
Man, how weird is that, Matt, that we're sitting here talking about Georgetown as a 2 seed?
Yes, that truly is surprising, and I think you ask any coach around the league, and they'll tell you honestly, going into the season, we feel like Georgetown, at least in recent years, is the runaway favorite.
Yeah.
And Xavier was picked 4th.
It's one of those things where you look at college athletics and a team like Georgetown, or until you can prove differently, or until you say which team is going to climb that mountain, why not pick the Georgetown Hoyas? But Georgetown not there this season.
There's a new kid in town.
There is.
Yeah, it's funny. We had Xavier in the regular season finale here on Thursday night and had a chance to speak with Nate Lee at length, the Musketeer third-year head coach. And he even said he was quite surprised to be in this position. Stephanie Rodriguez steers it away for a goal kick.
But you have a feeling, Matt, that Georgetown understands their position and maybe has a bit of an edge, a bit of a chip on their shoulder as they head to Omaha later on this week, saying we might be number 2 as far as seeding is concerned, but
we're still the top dog.
We want to go out there and make a point.
They have won 3 consecutive tournament titles, and they have made deep runs in the NCAA tournament as well, making it to the College Cup a season ago. Hogan playing it back across midfield. Ten minutes gone. Neither side has really had any opportunities in front of goal to speak of. But now Butler mounting an attack with Kowalski. Lucia. Providence sagging the lines back just a bit against a Butler team that have started 4 true forwards this afternoon.
And my biggest question for Providence today, what are they going to do to change the mojo up? What are they going to do? How are they going to be able to just change from the last 3 matches, losing 3 in a row coming into the tournament? I mentioned in that pregame show, you want to be peaking at the right time. And losing 3 straight is not what you want to hear going into the tournament. So what are they going to be able to do today to maybe throw a different look at Butler? How are they going to change things up and pull off that upset yet again? Friars confident they can do it.
Gainer, back heel, Kowalski knocked off the ball. Kloosterman building from the back. One of the players that have cycled into a new position for this first round Big East matchup.
Most of this match being played in the middle third of the field right now. As the defensive lines of both squads coming up big.
Grilakis now leaves it out. There's a ball forward for Braun. And past the touchline, another goal kick coming for Butler. Now it's overruled by Lucas Smethers, and we have a corner kick coming instead. Well, the first real interesting opportunity of the afternoon, and it comes nearly 15 minutes in. Here's one more look at it. Kloosterman felt certain that it went off Braun, who didn't make much of an argument, but nonetheless Smethers awarding a corner kick to the Friars. McNulty in the area. They're going for her. Played back down, and Rothman over the top bar.
Good development, but execution not there as it went across that crossbar.
Providence have struggled a bit this season to find goals. Just 17 over the course of this 2019 campaign, which puts them at the bottom of the table, at least as far as Big East teams are concerned. Macy Miller. Butler throw. Turned back by Peyton Black. And now across the field, picked away by Braun. Here's a beautiful run, but the offside flag is up. It was Grilakis trying to sneak behind that back line of Butler. Maybe just a step or two.
Yeah, far side official spotting it right away, and that threat negated.
Here's a ball down in the corner for Soderstrom. Played across the touchline and headed out. And it goes past Kowalski. And now Braun. Butler with the high press. Soderstrom. Trying to find a way through, and a Butler throw coming. And for more on what Butler will try to do against one of the best scorers in the league, in Hannah McNulty, she chatted with Rob Allman.
Yeah, Matt, Hannah McNulty has been a player who's been offensively sound the entire year for the Friars. She has 8 goals on the season. 4 of them have been game winners, a preseason All-Big East selection. When I spoke with Rob Allman before the game started, he said that containing her is going to be a really big deal for us just because the offense definitely revolves around her.
Well, Butler certainly had a chance there in the run of play. And Providence lucky that that ball didn't go bar down.
Yeah, deflection, beautiful save, but then, oh, Matt, nearly the first goal of the afternoon for the Bulldogs.
Gretchen Skoglund, who has come into the starting 11 this afternoon for Butler. Due to the injuries in the back, it has truly affected all 10 outfield positions for Butler. But they look no worse for the wear. Front foot focused. In the words of Rob Ullman, we've seen that in these opening 15 minutes.
Yeah, they say you come in, the ball will find you, and Skoglund nearly on a rebound, had a wide open net.
Peyton Black, Birchwell, and now McNulty hunting. Had 10 goals a year ago. Has led this program in scoring the last 3 seasons. Verhoeven. Turnover. Swaza trying to recover. Here's Zanya Savage, who is playing in the central midfield this afternoon. Typically a center forward for this Butler side. A hold-up type of player. Spectacular with her back to goal. Kowalski now. Savage, defended by Lucia. Soderstrom with the left foot into the middle for Gaynor. And cleared off the back line, and nothing from the referee, but Peyton Black plays on. Leonard wide, looking for Skoglund, and just a touch over her head and out for a goal kick.
Yeah, that centering pass just a few seconds before was a touch too far for the Bulldogs to handle in the middle of the box. Otherwise, it would have been another golden opportunity at the mouth of the goal, and Butler now starting to put that foot on the gas a little bit more, apply some pressure. Haven't seen Providence maintain a lot of possession here in the last few minutes as things have started to trend the way of the Bulldogs. Providence chasing Butler from side to side on the pitch right now with 26 minutes and change remaining in this first half.
Soderstrom. It was unclear in that Xavier match whether we'd see Soderstrom again in this postseason. Was helped off the field, walking gingerly, albeit under our own power for the most part. But suffered an injury early in the second half against Xavier and did not return in that match. But looking good here in this first round against Providence.
You want to do all you can when you work all
right.
season. You want to do all you can to get out there in the postseason because, I mean, Matt, this is what you play for. This is what you build your whole spring around. This is what you build your summer around. This is why you work so hard in the fall and during the regular season. You want to be out there right now helping your team. And you see her recovering from that injury out there for the Bulldogs.
One of the interesting, I don't know if you would say mottos, but mantras, I suppose, of this Butler program is that they never look too big picture. Each match is an opportunity to extend the season, in the words of Terry St. John. At this point in the year, though, the only way for Butler to extend their season is to win this tournament. And that's the case for any of the teams except for probably Georgetown, who could make it into the NCAA tournament without the automatic qualification. Everyone else, though, searching for that automatic bid. Skoglund slipping away. And a foul awarded to Butler. Skoglund drawing and a free kick coming for the Dogs. Quickly done by Peyton Black. Savage around the area. Gaynor as well in the 6, and that's played out. And the first corner of the afternoon for Butler coming now.
Providence had a corner earlier in this first half and nearly an opportunity for the Friars, but now Butler will see what develops from that far corner.
It's always interesting when you get into postseason play how much of an impact set pieces make on the outcome of a game. Soderstrom plays near post, punched out by Hogan. And Kloosterman right back out to Soderstrom. This looks promising. Peyton Black plays it down. Savage had to go. Leonard. Boy, a dangerous cross. Peyton Black still. And the Dogs continue to mount as Savage rips one over the top bar. And a goal kick now for Providence. Really good run of play there from Butler.
Yeah, Matt, you can tell that they're really developing some momentum, and Providence right now, you feel like they just need to slow it down and regroup. Butler is all out on the attack, as they have been for the last 10 or so minutes of this first half.
Butler a turnover. Soderstrom down she goes.
You know, Matt, I'm wondering if there's something up with the turf right now, because that's the third player we've seen
Turf
trip.
monsters out there today.
Out in full force.
Kowalski. Savage with the advantage on the much smaller Lucia, who does well to get behind and knock it out of play for a throw. Picture perfect afternoon in Indianapolis. Butler, the 3 seed, trying to advance to take on 2-seeded Georgetown. Kowalski unable to maintain, and the goal kick coming. Meanwhile, Providence looks to play spoiler and pull off an upset, something they've never done against Butler in the postseason. 0-3 all-time since conference realignment in 2013. And really, with the exception of the first 5 minutes, this has been an aggressive attack from Butler. Seven minutes left in the first half between DePaul and Villanova. Still no score. The winner of that takes on the top-seeded Xavier Musketeers in Cincinnati. Rather, in Omaha. Campus sites for the first round, and then Omaha the rest of the way.
Hard to believe, Matt, we're already into the postseason. The season has flown by. Now here we are on a brisk day in the first week of November.
So much has been made about the length of the college season. Many coaches across the country agreeing that they'd like to see it move to a fall and spring format. You look at the amount of games that these ladies play in such a short amount of time. To your point, it goes by very quickly.
Yeah.
At times you're playing 2 and 3 games in a week, sometimes 3 in a 10-day span. Most of these teams, especially at the Division I level now, already play a spring season, albeit much more shortened, somewhere in the range of 5 games. The question of championships and how you would format that with a split season, I think, is the biggest question mark for proponents of a fall and spring slate. But for now, November and December means postseason soccer in the college ranks, and we've got a good one brewing here in Indianapolis. Providence trying to counter. Braun. Played in, Leonard clearing it off the line dangerously in front of the mouth of goal. Braun again.
Now we see some sustained pressure from the Friars for the first time this afternoon. They try to play it in.
McNulty was on the end of that run and quickly thrown out by Rodriguez. Less than 20 minutes left in this first 45 from Indianapolis. Butler have managed 4 shots to Providence's 1. They have maintained a dominance of possession. And now Leonard with some real space and opportunity. Savage. A little too hot to handle for Skoglund. And rolled into the midst of Shelby Hogan. You see Miller on the left side, who has been so vital, especially in this recent run of success for Butler, having gone unbeaten in 5 of their last 6 matches.
Interesting you would say that, Matt, the coach's opinions. I'd like to hear more about that. You'd think of bring into a spring season that it almost turns into like a pseudo year-round sport. And at the collegiate level, I'm sure there's a lot of factors you're looking at with academic schedules and things of that nature. But as we see Providence develop an attack, you mentioned we already see most of these sides, men's and women's teams, playing a small abbreviated slate in the spring, but most of those maybe are exhibition matches against schools they wouldn't normally play if the games were playing for something as far as a result. Maybe scheduling with local teams or things like that gives you some different kinds of exposure. Just different ways that you can expand this college game for sure going into the future.
Lucia. Swaza was heavy on the touch. I think one of the arguments you would find for at least proponents of the split season is that it's already a year-round sport in many minds. The fact that they practice year-round as it is anyway, they're playing in competition nearly year-round. Yep. But as far as this condensed season the way it is now, it's just so tough on the body, on the mind, and as far as you talking about academic course load and scheduling, you spend much of your time on the road in the fall. Skoglund trying to win it off the touchline, cannot, and finally cleared away by Verhoeven.
The other thing too, Matt, is if you're looking at, say, a weekend travel unit where you're traveling on Thursday and you're traveling on Sunday, you play a double overtime match on Thursday and then another double overtime match on Sunday, you are worn out coming into the next week, and all of a sudden you got to turn right back around and prepare for your match on the next Thursday.
Right, or if you've got a Tuesday non-conference match thrown in there. Yeah, certainly no rest for the weary once the heart of the conference season picks up. Here is Kowalski. Touchline into the middle. She found the foot of Soderstrom, couldn't do anything with it. Kowalski now trying to slip it through. And Swaza playing it back upfield. Gainer. And back to Yarish.
Looking around the Big East, Matt, Villanova and DePaul, only a 15-second difference between our two matches. But Villanova right now up 1-0.
DePaul coming off a 4-1 victory over Providence on the final day of the regular season. And now a mass of substitutions coming on for Providence.
Number 14, Mara Rodriguez. For 16, Andy Swaza.
4 subs cycling on for Providence and 1 for the Dogs.
Number 2, Chloe Ortolano. For number 12, Elena Galakis.
Sam Lopes looking to mix things up here in the final 15 minutes of our first half. Still no score in Indianapolis. Beautiful back heel flip for one of the substitutions. Teresa Durkee coming on for the Friars.
As we tick down toward the end of the first half here, see what these two teams develop looking into the break. I mean, so crucial. You feel like you get a late goal in the first half, take some momentum into the break, but right now neither side has really shown a whole lot of attack in the last couple of minutes. Butler had a chance a minute and a half ago, but developed slowly into the box. Bulldogs, consistent possession today. Still looking for that first real big chance. Hard contact on the far side, and it goes the way of the Friars.
Smathers blowing the whistle. Allows for some breathing room here for the Friars back line. Wind whipping from behind this free kick opportunity. Ball played down by Durkee, and the offside flag came up.
And Matt, too, we've talked about how much Butler has maintained possession today, but coming off a set piece like that, you're just, if you're the Friars, looking for one deflection, one bounce, one anything to go your way. And it could easily be a goal to put the Friars in front.
Ortolano slipping it through to Cummings. And now wide. Providence bringing numbers into the area, including McNulty. But Peyton Black clears it away. Providence would really love to possess for some length of time here. They found themselves on their back heel for the last 10 to 15 minutes, just sort of weathering the storm brought on by Butler's forward-thinking attack this afternoon. Just over 10 minutes remain in this first 45. First round of the 2019 Big East Women's Soccer Championships brought to you by Jeep. Delighted to have you with us on the Big East Digital. Durkee with some space here. Has a go. And nothing that Rodriguez can't handle, but Providence applauding the effort from Durkee. Just the second shot of the first half for the Friars.
And 5 shots for Butler with 10 minutes to go.
Rogers. Now Soderstrom applying pressure. Gaynor. Black. Big takedown. Nothing from the referee on a hard tackle from Cummings. McNulty now trying to chase Cummings again. And that one will warrant a whistle from Lucas Smethers.
Well, this match starting to get a little physical, Matt.
That's the MO of the Big East Conference, is it not?
It is. I'll tell you what. Seems like any sport you go to, any sport, it's just the mantra of the Big East. You will earn your victory if you get one.
Gritty.
Yep.
Cummings.
It's almost like there should be an extra little tally in the win column for a win in the Big East. We really had to go out and earn this one.
14 of Providence's 18 matches this year have been decided by a goal or less. And it just sort of gives you an idea of how close they've been. Right now, coming into this match, 8-8-2 overall, but a sub-500 record in conference play at 3-5-1. But they do feel like they're right there. And in spite of Butler's heavy possession, the Friars have done a really fine job of staying right there in this match. Down goes Kowalski, and now an opportunity for Butler in a dangerous area.
And Butler will take their time here, set everything up.
Kowalski selling it well for the Dogs. She's been active so much, especially later in the season, coming forward down the right side, and now she lines up for the restart. Will she test Shelby Hogan? Back post, headed on by Savage, over the top and in, and the Dogs have struck first. 1-0 Butler.
Bulldog. Number 7, Anya Savage.
Well, Matt, that was beautiful development off that set piece, and Savage puts the Bulldogs on the board first. Played into the box. Savage directly in off the head. And the Bulldogs, as I was just saying, looking for that spark going into the break. And now with 7:10 to go before the half, have a 1-0 lead.
Savage's 8th goal of the season, and what did we talk about 10 minutes ago? The importance of set pieces in the postseason. Butler converting on a beautiful ball in from Amanda Kowalski. And now Providence will have to chase the game. Under 7 minutes left in the first 45. And here comes Macy Miller. Good tackle on the back line from Providence. It was Rothman on it right back. How did Providence respond? It's the 7th goal they've allowed in the last 3.5 matches.
Matt, the last time these two teams played back on October 24th, Savage peppered the Friars with 7 shots, didn't put one in the back of the net, but Savage earning her goal today.
Here's a ball into the area for McNulty over the top bar. Boy, that was close to an equalizing opportunity.
And McNulty had a chance. Now was a fast developing play down there in the box. As we'll take another look at this. McNulty, I want to say point blank, but it was pretty close. She put it too high.
Cleared away by Kowalski. Providence in a flurry. Here is Durkee keeping it in. And cleared again by Kowalski. Rothman. Walled off by Miller.
Under 4.5 to play now before the half. In a physical match, Butler gaining possession, looking to expand on that lead.
Peyton Black, 4 minutes left in the first half. Butler on top 1-0. Converting a set piece off the head of Anya Savage. And the whistle blown by Smethers. Soderstrom. And Butler awarded a free kick again here.
Butler with 6 shots this half. And now with a chance for another, as they'll organize.
Kowalski. Back post. Looking for Savage once more. Play down for Macy Miller. Flicked in by Peyton Black and scooped away by Hogan.
Hogan has been busy this afternoon. Just was unable to get to that header from Savage.
Soderstrom. Still, Soderstrom off the chest of Hogan. And it goes back to Providence. A handball was called. My goodness, nervy moments for the Providence back line.
Take another look at this last play. And right there, handball call on the Bulldogs.
Mara Rodriguez, the offender, and back to Butler. Under 2 minutes left in the first half. Providence had an opportunity almost immediately after on the foot of Hannah McNulty. Just a foot over the top bar. And here is McNulty providing pressure for Providence. Kowalski. Up the near side for Soderstrom.
One minute remaining in the half. 1 minute.
Savage. Durkee into the midfield for Rothman. Now Providence have numbers.
Do they have one last attack here left in the first half?
That's kind of been the MO today for Providence. The struggles have been that connecting ball to get into the offensive third and get in a position of danger. They just haven't had the touch yet in this first half as Taylor Crow comes on for the final 30 seconds.
Yeah, Butler content here to take a 1-0 lead into the half. Providence with it and 20 seconds to work with. Going to have to hurry. The clock goes to 10.
10, 9, 8, 7.
Flicked in by McNulty, cleared off the line by Kowalski. How many times have we heard that in the first half? Butler carry a 1-0 lead into the halftime break at home in the Selick Bowl. Savage finding the back of net. Kowalski earning a foul.
And it's a 1-0 lead for the Bulldogs off that header from Savage into the halftime break.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
You have 4 years to help you figure out the meaning of life. Do you realize what a great gift this is?
I think of college as a moment of pilgrimage.
You'll go places you never thought you'd go. You'll meet people you never thought you'd meet. And you will experience things that are so rich that you can hold on to them forever.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Student athlete, coaches, and
1-0 at the halftime break, 45 down, 45 to go from Indianapolis in our Big East first round matchup between the Butler Bulldogs and the Providence Friars. As you may know, this is the 40th anniversary year of the beautiful Big East Conference. Val Ackerman talks to you more about that from our Big East studios in New York City.
When my time came to stop coaching, I was very fortunate that I didn't have to go cold turkey. I was able to start the Big East Conference, and we came across the sky like a meteor.
One recruiting year that they had that really turned everything around was the Ewan Mullen Pinckney recruiting year. It changed the face of Eastern basketball probably forever.
We just believed in ourselves and a lot of hard work on everybody's part.
Every March, Madison Square Garden is home to everything that is college basketball.
Put on your red shoes and dance the
How's the weather? Yeah. It's snowing out. It's a blizzard, but we ain't gonna stop.
Rightly, there were questions early on about whether the Big East could withstand the test of reconfiguration, and I think if you were here, we've done that and more.
It's a monster league now. Last man standing, bring the flag. Tough to coach in, but great for spectators and great to play in. The march of the Big East goes on.
One of the positives about the sports business in the last couple of years, and in recent years in particular, has been the growing interest in seeing our industry become a more diverse and inclusive place.
I find it important for us to amplify the voices of those who have not traditionally had a seat at the table. As a Black African woman, my various social identities are always at the forefront of my daily interactions, from my first name, my culture, to where I'm from. So for me, diversity is about us celebrating our uniqueness as a society.
A lot of what happens in terms of diversifying workforce in the college world happens at the campus level. That's really where the core hiring takes place. The schools are responsible for hiring their directors of athletics, their staffs, their coaches. And so the conference is really a step away from that activity, but I think conferences can and should set a tone. And so in the Big East, we have tried to make diversity and inclusion a conference strategic priority. We have, for example, within our conference SAC group, designated a diversity and inclusion officer. D&I has become an important topic of discussion at SAC meetings. And our D&I officer is now included into the conference-wide diversity and inclusion working group that we've created.
I currently serve as the conference's Student Athlete Advisory Committee's Diversity and Inclusion Officer. This position is charged with ensuring that the conference carries out its commitment to inclusion for all. And I assist the conference staff in creating opportunities for student athletes from different backgrounds to come together to share and exchange ideas. I also work closely with the Big East Diversity and Inclusion Working Group.
You know, when I think about diversity, I think about the fact that diversity is a fact. When we think about inclusion, we think about inclusion being a choice. And I think if we can succeed in anything at the Big East is to impress upon everyone how inclusion isn't just a choice but a responsibility.
The Big East is committed to continuing the development of programs and initiatives that support diverse and inclusive environments for our student athletes, coaches, staff, and communities.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Divine Providence. It's a reason why Providence is making that trajectory toward greatness.
If we get you on this campus and you just walk around for an hour or so, you're going to feel something that's qualitatively different.
Providence College is a place that has helped people think, thrive, and achieve. Divine Providence is right here. Open your eyes.
Back on the Big East Digital Network from the Selleck Bowl in Indianapolis, it's Providence and Butler with the Bulldogs holding a 1-0 advantage. To this point today, it was a fast-moving first half for these squads, with Butler scoring a 1-goal late with about 10 minutes remaining in the first half to take that 1-0 lead into the break off a set piece. It was Anya Savage. First a foul, as we see the highlights played in here, but Butler continuing all afternoon to pepper the goal, and you can see one after another. Save made from Shelby Hogan before a foul close in, and it was Savage that was able to find the back of the net, but you could see Butler all day maintaining that pressure, maintaining the attack. Providence having to bring that back line up and do as best they can to thwart that Bulldog pressure. Providence had a couple of opportunities of their own with shots from distance. And there's the foul there that eventually set up this free kick opportunity. Savage placing it over the outstretched arm of Hogan to put the Bulldogs in front. But here's McNulty nearly finding the back of the net, going off the crossbar and the post behind it. And now Butler, as they hold a 1-0 lead at halftime, are 45 minutes away from advancing to Omaha. But Providence, something to say about it. We'll see what they say in the second half on the Big East Digital Network.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
You have 4 years to help you figure out the meaning of life. Do you realize what a great gift this is?
I think of college as a moment of pilgrimage.
You'll go places you never thought you'd go. You'll meet people you never thought you'd meet. And you will experience things that are so rich that you can hold on to them forever.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My my time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Divine Providence. It's a reason why Providence is making that trajectory toward greatness.
If we get you on this campus and you just walk around for an hour or so, you're going to feel something that's qualitatively different.
Providence College is a place that has helped people think, thrive, and achieve. Divine Providence is right here. Open your eyes.
Absolutely gorgeous Sunday afternoon in Indianapolis. Butler on top 1-0. The 3 seed versus the 6 seed. It's the first round of the Big East Women's Tournament. 45 down, 45 to go. And the third member of our team, Chelsea Groves, caught up with both coaches.
Thanks, Matt. Yeah, a few quick conversations coming out of the half. First, with Providence, Coach Lopes said that Butler's gotten way too many opportunities. They've been free-range the entire game. We need to limit that. And with Butler, co-head coach Rob Allman said the decision-making has been really good for us. We expect them to press coming out, but we've been patient, and that's what we need to do the rest of the game. Guys.
Thanks, Chelsea. Yeah, absolutely. You know, when you look at Providence, they were on their heels for much of that first half. That's what led to the free kick set-piece goal. Kowalski hooking up with Savage for her 8th goal of the season. If you're Providence, you figure you'll probably press, like Chelsea Groves heard from Butler head coach Rob Allman. But the thing you have to worry about when you press Butler, if they get a ball in over the top on a direct pass to somebody like Katie Sonderstrom or Macy Miller, you're looking at a 2-goal deficit.
Yeah, and it's going to be hard. The way they've played in the first half, it's hard to dig yourself out of a 2-goal deficit, but it's something you and I both talked about in that first half. When you're only up 1-0, if you're the Friars, you're just looking for something to go your way. Maybe it's a breakaway, whether it's a counter, something over the top, anything. A lucky ball into the box, a deflection that goes your way. So many things can happen where you can get that 1 goal to even it up and then push yourself in toward the second half as the game and the match draws on. But you really don't want to dig yourself into that 2-goal hole here in this second half, especially not against this Butler team with an offensive attack and so many offensive weapons that they have on the pitch today.
Doesn't take much to find the back of the net if you're Providence. You've got very capable goal scorers up top and Hannah McNulty, and then somebody else who's really come into the fold this season is the sophomore from Lowell, Mass, Elena Gralakis. Those two have been especially good this season. Amber Birchwell is somebody who hasn't been on the score sheet a lot, but she's also a great finisher. So you've got 3 ladies who could potentially find the equalizing goal. The problem is they haven't exactly been in the run of form that we've seen in years past, being outscored now 7-1 over the last 3.5 matches. 45 down, 45 to go from Indianapolis, and the second half is underway.
It was a fairly physical first half as well.
Wide open on the right side is Arachi. They finally find her, but not before Macy Miller can close it down. Arachi into the area. Played down by Kloosterman, and out it goes for a goal kick. Stephanie Rodriguez, meanwhile, for the Butler Bulldogs, only saw 3 shots and just 1 on goal in the first half. She's 45 minutes away from taking down the Butler single-season record for 10 clean sheets in a season.
You can see the wind starting to play a factor here too. Going from left to right as you can see the ball rolling off the line.
And it's changed as well, because in the start of the first half, it was blowing from the north side across and towards the south side of the pitch. That has completely changed. As you take a look at the flag, that is on the north side of the Selig Bowl. And it is truly a bowl. You walk in and you go down a steep hill to get to the bottom where these ladies are playing right now. And as such, it has a swirling effect when the wind comes down here. And a lot of times what you'll see, and we saw it on Thursday night in the championship game between Xavier and Butler for the regular season title, any ball that's played up over the top when the wind's swirling just gets immediately batted down. It is one of the unique venues in the Big East Conference. Providence trying to build here. They do have numbers coming forward. Arachi again. The senior from Pittsfield, Massachusetts, has Birchwell to her right. Now on the edge of the 18. And cleared out by Julia Leonard.
And that's the kind of thing I was talking about just a minute ago, Matt. You get out on that counter, get out on that break, and then can you take advantage?
It is a corner kick for Providence. And I believe it is Verhoeven to take it, the freshman from the Netherlands. Short corner, Birchwell, touchline, headed away. Verhoeven again. Now this is dangerous, McNulty. Wow, just wide.
Well, that's the second or third time today, Matt, that we've seen McNulty just a few feet away from the goal line, unable to put it in the back of the net.
I don't think McNulty expected as much time and space as she had.
Yeah, it looked like right there she might have been able to settle for a second, although the defense collapsing. But McNulty, now the second time where she's had a chance right there at goal. And Providence looking dangerous here through the first few minutes of the second half, using a strong outburst from the break.
Butler comfortable playing back and sagging the lines just a bit. Not as much pressure on this back line as we saw in the first half, although Becky Dean now coming into the fold. It was a late substitution at the end of the first half. Lucia, and run out of play. Gorlakis losing the handle, but it goes back to the Friars. Providence and Butler facing each other for the fourth time since Big East reconfiguration in 2013. They faced each other 3 times previous in the postseason, including back-to-back conference semifinals. Butler, of course, winning both of those and advancing to take on Georgetown, who have won 3 straight. Now then, an opportunity for the Friars, searching to put us level. Leonard, turnover. Arache coming forward. Miller coughs it up. Cummings. Well, we only saw 3 shots in the first half from Providence. We've seen 2 already in the opening 5 minutes of the final 45.
Yeah, this looks like an entirely different offensive team right now, Matt. I mean, continuing to spray the goal and just play the area. Strong effort right now as Butler looks to be a bit on their heels. But still with that 1-goal advantage.
Butler have found ways to win and get results in multiple ways this season. We saw it in their 0-0 draw with Georgetown, defending for long stretches at a time. The difference today is that they're without Annika Schmidt, who, in the words of Terry St. John, is the warrior of this back line, the glue, if you will, that has held it together for so many years. Morgan Kloosterman has done a fantastic job in her place in the central defense today against Providence. Savage. Miller has a run from Gaynor, and she's run out of play by Rogers. Corner kick coming for the Dogs.
About a minute or so separating us from the DePaul Blue Demons and Villanova Wildcats in the other quarterfinal matchup. Villanova with a 1-0 lead over DePaul right now.
Should Nova advance, they would take on Xavier. And the winner of this matchup here this afternoon in Indianapolis takes on Georgetown. The top 2 seeds awaiting their opponent for the semifinals in Omaha. Gretchen Skoglund coming on now for Anya Savage, 10 minutes into the second half. Savage, to this point, the lone goal. Soderstrom chasing Lucia, winning it back for Butler. Becky Dean in the middle. Peyton Black playing it wide. Slipped through to Kowalski. And a beautiful defensive play on the back line from Lucia.
Look at that technical ability to clear the ball away.
Grylakis, slick. Arachi. Now Rothman.
Matt, I think you'd agree this looks like a different attack from Providence here in this second half.
Sense of urgency.
Yep.
Just stringing passes together beautifully.
And we were asking in that first half, what's Providence going to be able to do to get over the hump? What are they going to be able to do to snap that 3-match losing streak?
Birchwell. '19 Big East Women's Soccer Championship tickets are on sale now for the semifinal and the final, November 7th and 10th, hosted by Creighton University in Omaha, Nebraska. To get those tickets, you can go to www.bigeast.com/WSOC tickets. Travel to Omaha like the Providence Friars fans have traveled to Indy. If you haven't been out to Omaha, it's an unbelievable facility that rivals any professional soccer stadium in the country. And certainly will be a great venue for our championship event next week. And that is what is on the line here today. The winner will punch their ticket to Omaha for the Big East Women's Soccer semifinal.
The women this week, men next week. We are fully ingrained in championship season.
Yes, and much like the women's end to the regular season, the men's is all jumbled up.
It is.
Number 2 overall RPI amongst Division I conferences. The Big East behind only the ACC for the toughest league in America.
Matt, you're joining us today, coming off the heels of the cross-country championships yesterday. It's an exciting time to be a Big East sports fan right now.
And a big win for Seton Hall, talking men's soccer. That's a team that has not been to the Big East men's tournament since 2012. And before that, you got to go all the way back to the early 90s, taking down Marquette in a massive upset on the road. The late night match in men's soccer last night.
You had that one as well too, right?
Yes, sir.
All over the place. Now here in Indy today.
Postseason time. Becky Dean whistled for the foul. Lucas Smethers, our central referee. No cautions given despite some physicality. Nearly 15 minutes gone in the second half. And back to Butler.
This has been a very fast match, Matt. The only clock stoppage we've had so far was on the goal in the first half. No bookings, nothing.
Coming into this conference tournament on the last day of the regular season, 8 of the 10 teams in the Women's Big East Conference were still contending for one of 6 spots in the conference tournament. Providence sneaking in and now trying to do something with the 6th seed. Soderstrom. And out for a goal kick.
Wind starting to die down now a little bit as the second half rolls on. But 31 minutes remaining for the Providence Friars as they look to bring things level.
And Butler win it back. Dogs trying to avenge back-to-back losses in the conference final and earn a trip back to the NCAA tournament, a place that they have been twice since 2015, which was the only year that the Bulldogs received that automatic qualification, taking down this Providence team in the tournament final in Omaha. Skoglund. Touchline, down she goes, and a goal kick awarded.
That ball trickled through for the Bulldogs as they look to mount an attack, but now the Friars can clear it away with under a half hour remaining in their season. And now we'll see our first non-goal clock stoppage as our central referee goes over to talk to the Butler bench.
Don't have to read lips or body language to understand that the Butler coaches are a bit frustrated. But nonetheless, their team, as you say, Paul, 30 minutes away from advancing to the next round. And in the words of Terry St. John, extending their season another week. And perhaps then they may get Annika Savage back. Annika Schmidt, rather. Becky Dean Played back in. Macy Miller off the top bar. Nearly the second goal. Leonard punched away by Hogan.
A furious sequence, and Miller scored the lone goal for the Bulldogs in their last matchup a week ago against Providence.
Well, that was inches away from perhaps putting this match out of reach. But life still for Providence. Dean turned it over. Lucia. Grilakis. Here is Grilakis with numbers coming forward. Soderstrom doing well to muscle it out. Then a goal kick coming. Here's another look at that last opportunity for Butler.
It played in and then almost, oh my goodness, Macy Miller nearly, as you said, Mike, or excuse me, Matt, nearly putting the Bulldogs on top 2-0.
5 goals this year for Macy Miller. And the fact that she flicked that so close to the mouth of goal with a body on her. She's been the silent assassin this year. So much attention is given to Savage and Soderstrom, but Miller is so vital to the flow of this offense. Slipped through to Gaynor. Won back by the Friars. Cummings. McNulty walking forward. Yarish clearing it off the back line. And Skoglund applying pressure all the way back to Hogan. And is awarded for her efforts. Throw in coming for the Dogs.
And the momentum, I feel like, Matt, starting to swing back the way of the Bulldogs a little bit. It was with 26.5 minutes remaining. Bulldogs trying to answer the question.
Soderstrom. Carly Gehring has snuck onto the pitch for Butler, wearing number 19. And too much for Gehring.
DePaul and Villanova. Still a 1-0 lead for the Wildcats in Philadelphia. And you can feel the urgency from both sidelines and from the cheering sections as well. Fans in attendance supporting their squads, and you can tell that both teams starting to feel that urgency, especially from the Friars. They know that they have 25 minutes now to save their season.
Meanwhile, Villanova maintaining a 1-goal lead over DePaul with just under 25 minutes left in Philadelphia. Gehring cannot keep it in play.
Substitution for the Friars. Into the match.
Well, we're talking about championship season, Matt, and it's time for the 2019 Big East Field Hockey Championship. It'll be held at Quinnipiac University at their Field Hockey Stadium in Hamden, Connecticut from the 8th to the 10th of November next week. You can go to www.bigeast.com/FH tickets to secure your tickets to the championship. And the Friars, for those Friar fans watching us right now, your Friars are currently 4th in the standings in field hockey. Exciting times.
Awarded to Providence, much to the chagrin of the home crowd and the Butler coaching staff. And now the Friars putting bodies in the offensive third on the edge of the 18. 8 of the 10 outfield players within the 30-yard line. Swaza delivering it into the box. Alive still and touched wide.
You could hear the groans on the fouls just a second ago.
I suppose Smethers stopped play, giving it back to Providence for the flop in his mind. Gralakis now wide, and Providence in the build-up. Becky Dean, she has been a ball of energy since entering on late in the first half. Providence looking for something here. Touched away to Gralakis. And into the midst of Stephanie Rodriguez. "22 minutes remain here from Indianapolis. Time still for Providence to find the equalizer. Providence with the third fewest goals of any of the 10 teams in the Big East Conference this season. But perhaps Teresa Durkee can help with that. Not so much a goal scorer in her own right, but important in the connectivity in the midfield. Back heel flip from Swaza. At the feet now of Kloosterman. And here is Kowalski pushing it past Durkee. Down she goes. Smethers has awarded a restart to the Dogs.
Clock ticking and Butler content to take some time. You see that last play, a hard foul. Still no bookings today.
Kowalski delivered a beautiful ball back post in the first half to Anya Savage, giving the Dogs a 1-goal lead. Back post again, this time for Gehring. Skoglund comes away with it. Turning it back in. Skoglund still. Back out to Kloosterman. Wide for Gehring. Overlapping run from Crow. Kloosterman. Gainer headed on, blocked away by Hogan. What a save by Shelby Hogan.
Shelby Hogan keeping the Friars in it. And you can see here the play in, but Hogan having to make the save. One hand outstretched to keep it at a 1-0 scoreline.
She was going the other way. She thought Gainer was going near post, but stuck the paws out just far enough to keep this a 1-goal game. And now Providence the other way. Rothman into the corner. And Crow steering it out for a goal kick.
It was the first time in quite some time that we'd seen Providence mount an attack into the attacking third.
Providence substitution, 15, Jana Braun.
And here comes Jana Braun. Saw her in the first half. Amber Birchwell coming off. Braun does have some pace and offers a bit of speed. The first-year transfer from Gardner-Webb. Butler clearing it down the line. If Providence can find an equalizer, that save from Shelby Hogan might be the play of the match. Crow. Kloosterman. Peyton Black switching fields.
The patience right now from the Bulldogs. They know they want to maintain possession. Won't push anything if they don't have it for sure. Good ability to stay on sides there. And now it'll be a deep throw for the Bulldogs.
Butler making a substitution.
14, Macy Miller. For 2, Katie
Macy Miller coming on for Katie Soderstrom, who has played big minutes for Butler in spite of the hard tackle she sustained against Xavier just a few nights ago. Then immediately making an impact, Miller sailing one over the top bar.
That's twice now Miller has been oh so close to tallying one this afternoon.
Anya Savage will come back on for Butler, the lone goal scorer in this match. Skoglund cycling off.
Butler taking a minute to organize here.
Miller fighting with Rogers. Butler still now on the throw. Headed in by Savage, back heel for Miller. Back to Savage and across. Butler still finding ways to get in dangerous areas. Providence now. Can they get some support forward?
McNulty has tried desperately at so many points, Matt. But she's also had to do it herself on several occasions and just hasn't had the support back there when she's gotten close to goal.
Substitution for the Friars, 12, Elena
Verlakis coming on now for the Bulldogs as they continue to sub late in this second half, maintaining the 1-0 advantage. Folks, we have been entertained to a good one, and so have the people in Philadelphia between Villanova and DePaul. Our other quarterfinal matchup, Villanova with a 1-0 lead over the Blue Demons. The Wildcats scoring about midway through that first half, and just like here in Indianapolis, it's been a 1-goal advantage for the home team.
Swaza. Now back into Alana Wood, who scored her first career goal in a 3-0 win over Marquette a week ago. Miller. One hops it into the mid of Hogan.
Matt, it's been impressive. Miller has continued to create, making immediate impacts as she has gotten into the match.
Taylor Crow all over Swaza. Verhoeven coming forward. Went to Lucia. Gralakis cut down by Kowalski. Swaza doing well to win it past Crow. Into the middle. Here's a shot on net and saved by Rodriguez. She hasn't been very busy in this second half, but doing well to protect the near post here.
That was McNulty again. Didn't exactly get the cleanest boot on it, but Rodriguez there to save nonetheless.
And now headed forward for Miller. She is away. Miller taken down by Hogan and nothing from the referee. Big time play from Hogan coming off her line, and another game-saving tackle by the redshirt junior. Miller was a bit slow to get up. She's come back into the fold. Here's a run from Wood, and she can't get there in time.
Here's that last spot. Hogan coming off for a line. And a clean tackle there from Hogan as she had to make that last-second decision.
She's been the woman of the match in the second half for Providence.
She's the reason it's still a 1-0 scoreline. You may think that's obvious as the keeper, but she has done yeoman's work to keep this where it is.
Miller has won a foul for Butler and a restart coming for the Dogs. Just a shade over 11 minutes remain in regulation. Still 1-0 out in Philadelphia. Nova on top of DePaul. They have 10 minutes left in regulation. Out on the East Coast, Kowalski. Back post, looking for Savage again. Had it on, and this time wide.
Substitution for the Friars. Fresh legs.
It is Cummings coming on, who we saw in the first half. Does have a goal to her name this year. And Amber Birchwell, also with a goal to her name this season, is coming on as well. Scored 5 last year. It's a Providence team that have managed just 17 goals in 18 games. Less than 1 goal per match. Desperately needing to find that one here in regulation. 10 minutes left in Indianapolis. Savage back out to Kowalski. Miss hit to Wood. Providence back on its heels right now. Gaynor. Gaynor does well to win it back for Butler.
I feel like Butler has to be happy with how they've played to this point, because in the second half you have that 1-goal advantage as we see more substitution coming on. You have that 1-goal lead, and instead of playing back and packing it in and working defensively to just try and hold the lead, Butler has continued to be aggressive here in this second half. They've continued to try and find that 2-0 score line, which they've been oh so close to.
Grolakis does have McNulty coming forward. Grolakis still, despite the efforts of Kloosterman. Lucia now. Grolakis again, and more numbers have come forward in support. Birchwell heading it down for McNulty. Down go Providence. That was Rothman drawing a foul. And now a very dangerous free kick opportunity for Providence.
I mean, Matt, this could be the free kick for their season. They will take some time. They know that with 8 minutes and 20 seconds remaining, this could be the free kick that defines this game, this match, and the end of their season.
Might they test? Rodriguez. Birchwell goes for goal. And in for the Providence Friars. We are level in Indianapolis.
Providence scores by number 23, Hannah McNulty.
A season-saving goal from team leading scorer Hannah McNulty, going directly to goal and finding the back of the net. What a masterclass goal from Hannah McNulty.
McNulty's 9th goal of the 2019 campaign. None bigger for number 23. Eight minutes left. Brand new ball game. Butler coming up now. Kowalski cutting it back in. Fighting through. Down she goes, and a whistle from Lucas Smethers. And now Butler have an opportunity. In an equally dangerous position. It will come roughly 30 yards away from the touch line.
Well, this is almost a mirror image of what we just saw from Hannah McNulty. And now can Butler advance their season with 7 minutes left? They'll take some time.
Savage and Soderstrom, the two leading goal scorers, having a chat. Soderstrom does have a go near post, and it kicks off the back end. Providence with life, and 6.5 left in regulation. Can they do it again as the 6th seed? Two of the last 4 appearances as a 6th seed. Providence have come away with the victory. That's a pretty darn good underdog right there. Cut back in by Kowalski, finding it through. Savage flicking it on, and away it goes. Miller still for Butler, and she has a go.
Butler substitution, 15, Celia Gaynor.
Celia Gaynor coming back on for Becky Dean. Last minute substitutions in Indy with 5 minutes remaining in regulation. And now how big are those saves from Shelby Hogan in this second half? truly game-defining from the vantage point of the Friars.
Oh, she was the one that has set them up for this. I mean, we could be looking at a 3-0, 3-1 scoreline at the least if Hogan doesn't come up with those saves.
McNulty, out it goes. Friars a throw. Miller taken away, and now at the feet of Lucia. She keeps it alive for Grolakis. Knocked off the ball from Soderstrom, and away we go. Butler in the run of play. Soderstrom, and now Birchwell. Forward for McNulty, who has a go. Curling just left of the bar.
My goodness. McNulty let that one go from about the 25-yard line. The 20-yard line there, and my goodness. And now everyone in the Selleck Bowl feeling the pressure right now. With 3 minutes left in this quarterfinal matchup.
Less than 3 minutes remain. Kowalski. Forward for Gaynor. Cleared away. And now Cummings. Providence have never beaten Butler in the postseason. 0-3 all time, including back-to-back losses in the conference semifinal. Might this be the year that they turn the tides? Crow. Miller. Running in and making a beautiful play, Arachi. Grolakis. Rothman blocked by Kloosterman, and now Miller on the near side. Rogers playing it back. And one hopped into the midst of Rodriguez. Macy Miller is still shaken up on the near side for Butler, hobbling off whatever it was in that last exchange. 90 seconds in regulation. And Butler will make a final substitution here.
Butler substitution, number 19,
Carly Gehring coming on for Kowalski. One last opportunity. Launching it forward for Savage. As Miller in the area and out for a corner.
Well, with 60 seconds remaining.
A tasty finish to regulation here in Indianapolis. A trip to the semifinal on the line. 50 seconds. It will be Soderstrom. And will this be the game-winning opportunity? High ball, back post, and Hogan climbing the ladder to rip it down.
Yeah, it went too far over toward that line. They're trying to play it in for the header, and now Hogan with 28 seconds left. Cleared away. Can one team out a furious exchange here?
Arachi. Arachi still with 10 seconds. It will take something miraculous. Grolakis defended, and she's content to play it into the corner. To overtime we go. Providence finding the late equalizer. And none other than Hannah McNulty from distance tying it up in the closing moments. The Friars have life in Indianapolis. 90 minutes not enough to separate these two sides. Free soccer coming up next.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
You have 4 years to help you figure out the meaning of life. Do you realize what a great gift this is?
I think of college as a moment of pilgrimage.
You'll go places you never thought you'd go. You'll meet people you never thought you'd meet. And you will experience things that are so rich that you can hold on to them forever.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Divine Providence. It's a reason why Providence is making that trajectory toward greatness.
If we get you on this campus and you just walk around for an hour or so, you're going to feel something that's qualitatively different.
Providence College is a place that has helped people think, thrive, and achieve. Divine Providence is right here. Open your eyes.
Overtime kickoff just moments away. There is the star for the Friars, Hannah McNulty. Delighted to be bringing you overtime action in the first round of the Big East Women's Soccer Tournament. The winner advances to the semifinal in Omaha, Nebraska to take on the Georgetown Hoyas. Matt Schumacher, Paul Frischner, Chelsea Groves on the sideline, and our entire Big East crew here in Indianapolis. Certainly McNulty will get a lot of the praise for scoring that equalizing goal. But the woman right there in the red shirt, Shelby Hogan, making not one but two game-saving plays in net for Providence, which allowed for an equalizing goal in the first place. We will have one 10-minute golden goal period. If that's not enough, we'll go to a second. Here is one of those looks. Hogan on a ball that was played across by Macy Miller. Providence will start the overtime. And away we go. Here is Celia Gaynor for Butler and played back. Birchwell finds McNulty. Gralakas has a go and cut down by Rodriguez. Let's send it down to the third member of our team, Chelsea Groves, who is listening into the Providence Friars huddle.
Yes, I caught the back end of Coach Lope's conversation. I ran across the field, and I got it. He said, guys, go get that second goal. Build from the back. Do not check unless we're under pressure. Just do not let them score. Girls, do not let them score. This is awesome.
Providence under some pressure early here in this first overtime. It was a different Friars team in the second half.
It certainly was, Matt. We saw a defensive-minded Friars team in the first half, and then in the second half, doing everything they could to level it up. The urgency, as you see there, played toward the goal. The urgency, surely giving them that extra edge to level the match. And then off the set piece, McNulty. What a beautiful strike that was from distance, too.
Cummings whistled for the foul and back to the Dogs. Kowalski is completely wide open on the far side of the pitch right now for Butler, calling for it. Lucia lets it roll out and a Providence throw. Twice before in their postseason history since the newly realigned Big East Conference have the Providence Friars advanced on penalty kicks. That is within the realm of possibility this afternoon. But one of these sides looking for that golden opportunity to send their team into the semifinal in Omaha. Soderstrom. Kowalski has come back on in this overtime. She was subbed off late in the second half after the equalizer had already been found by Providence. Turned back in now by Gralakas. As a run from McNulty. McNulty has shown no hesitation to let it fly from distance after scoring that leveler at the end of the second half.
Well, Rodriguez came off her line there, Matt, and McNulty thought maybe for a second she could catch her off guard. Rodriguez able to recover nicely, play it back out.
Savage. Well defended by Verhoeven. Savage turning it back in. Kloosterman was on the end of that pass. Miller. Soderstrom. Savage. And now Kowalski. One away by Cummings. And Friars will keep possession. Benches completely on their feet now. Birchwell giving it off to Gralakis, has a go, and just right of the bar. Catch your breath at home, folks. This has been rapid.
Elena Gralakis settling, took her time, had the right side of the net, but too far wide. And we play on here in Indianapolis, Matt.
Becky Dean comes on, as does Gretchen Skoglund for the Dogs. Savage coming off, which is notable, as she did score the only goal for Butler today and leads the team with 9. Miller into the midfield for Kloosterman, who has come forward in the attack. Skoglund. Soderstrom. On her feet caught. Kloosterman now wide for Kowalski. Eyeing across, perhaps. Cut down, and we play on. Gralakis. Macy Miller now on the near side. Miller, out it goes for a Butler corner.
And now can Butler convert? They had a corner with 1 minute remaining in that second half in regulation, but Hogan was there to bring it down. Now Butler with a chance.
Soderstrom will take the corner, but not before a last-minute substitution. Carly Gehring coming on as Kowalski trots off for Butler. 3 minutes and change left in this first overtime. Golden goal scenario. A trip to the semifinal on the line. Soderstrom goes near post. Still alive as Dean flicked it away. Taylor Crow. Soderstrom. Skoglund to her right. Back to Crow. Crow weaving into the area. Crow. And now Cummings for Providence clears it off the back line. And we reset with under 3 minutes to play.
McNulty tried one from distance at the start of this overtime period, but we haven't really seen Providence maintain possession in this first overtime period with 2 minutes left. In the first 8 minutes, it's really been Butler ball for the majority of it.
Taylor Crow throwing it in for the Dogs. Dean, touch line. Verhoeven knocks it away. And it will stay with Butler in a tough position. It will essentially be like a corner kick, but instead a throw from Carly Gehring. With Annika Schmidt out, she assumes the duties as the throw-in specialist. Under 90 seconds to play in this first overtime. Not much room for Gehring to run up. Gets it into the edge of the 6 anyway. Flipped on by Soderstrom and over the top bar. And the chances continue to mount for both sides. 1 minute left in the first overtime.
Hogan was there for it had she had a play, but over the crossbar. And can't say enough, Matt, about what Hogan has done. Even though she didn't need to make the save there, she was there for the stop should she needed to. But my goodness, she has kept her Friars squad in the mix today.
Lucia wins a foul. Friars will look to restart quickly with numbers forward in the attack. 30 seconds left in this first overtime. Do the Friars have something here? Played down to Dean. And that might do it for overtime number 1 in Indianapolis.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
100 minutes, not enough from Indianapolis. All locked at 1 with a trip to the semifinal in the 2019 Big East Women's Soccer Tournament on the line. We'll be back with overtime number 2 after this.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Fans hanging around in anticipation of this final overtime in Indianapolis. Butler, the 3 seed, led early for a very long stretch of time before Providence found that equalizing goal late in the second half. It was Anya Savage, wearing number 7 for Butler, finding her 9th goal of the season, giving Butler the early lead. And then Hannah McNulty on the free kick, direct free kick from 30 yards out, leveling the match at 1. Providence fans traveling a great distance to be here in Indianapolis for this first round tilt. A matchup that we have grown accustomed to seeing in the Big East tournament over the years. The 4th time that Butler and Providence meet in the postseason. Then what a performance from that woman, Shelby Hogan. Winner advances to the semifinal to take on the Georgetown Hoyas.
Georgetown watching this match, wondering who they will be taking on as Butler is set to go to kick off here in overtime number 2. Next goal wins. Winner advances. The loser's season comes to a screeching halt.
If a goal is not found in these 10 minutes, penalties await. And postseason history have favored the Providence Friars in penalty shootouts. They've advanced twice in this tournament in recent years on penalties as Savage walks it forward for Soderstrom. Butler have advanced to the conference final in back-to-back seasons, falling to the Hoyas. Along the way, they have defeated this Friars side in back-to-back years in the conference semifinal. The Friars have never beaten Butler in the postseason tournament. 0-3 all time. Here is Taylor Crow. Soderstrom. Lucia fighting her back, and now Crow playing it into the middle. Savage heading it wide for Miller, chesting it into the area. Miller tipped away by Hogan. Another game-saving play by the redshirt junior.
Well, regardless of how this match ends, Shelby Hogan has had an incredible afternoon.
Soderstrom on the corner. Near post. Headed away by Cummings. Gehring tracking it down for the Dogs. Soderstrom again into the area. Black tried to get a foot on it. Away for Crow. Still alive. Savage rolled into the mitts and smothered by Hogan. What an afternoon for Shelby Hogan. She was the program's first ever Freshman of the Year back in 2017 and has grown into one of the finest keepers in the country. Providence on the turnover. An opportunity now mounting with McNulty in the middle. And now Grillakis. Becky Dean, a late substitution. Gehring.
Matt, 7 minutes left, and you feel like Butler has almost started to lag a little bit here toward this second half as they continue to look for some consistent pressure.
Savage. Down she goes. Nothing from Lucas Smethers. Played wide. Birchwell winning it back for Providence. And dumped into the corner. A goal kick coming for Stephanie Rodriguez.
It's like Butler keeps getting so close, and without a result, it's almost draining to continue to get down there and have your threats extinguished by Shelby Hogan time after time.
Indeed, she has been game-defining for Providence as Angie Swaza has come on for the Friars. Dean, cut down in the midfield. Birchwell playing it through to Grillakis. Does have a runner on her left side. Lucia. But Grillakis with all types of space. And a foul drawn by Butler's Alyssa Yarish, and she is slow to get up. Smethers will stop the clock.
Take a look here, and maybe the heads collided together.
Yarish under her own power. Good sign for Butler fans. There is the woman who leveled this late in the second half, Hannah McNulty, with her 9th goal of the 2019 campaign. 5.5 left in this overtime. For a trip to Omaha. Carly Gehring on the throw. Miller. Yarish watching it trickle away for a Butler throw now. The Dogs have 18 shots in this match. Providence had just 3 going into the halftime break. They now have 14. Truly a tale of two halves for this Friars side. And certainly Butler probably feels like they could have won this game multiple times had it not been for spectacular saves from Shelby Hogan.
Butler now continuing to apply the pressure as we get down into this last few minute segment.
Penalties await on the other side of these next 4 minutes and 15 seconds. One team hopes to be golden before that, though. Gehring into the area. Savage. And cleared away. Gehring again. And now a low ball in. Cleared off the line by Rogers. Crow guides it back to Leonard. Peyton Black now, 3.5 minutes. And all the way back into the midfield. Swaza still.
Nearly a breakaway opportunity there. And now Butler with a chance to counter.
Butler bringing numbers into the fold. Here's a ball. And again, Rogers, she has been solid on the back line today. A junior from Scotch Plains, New Jersey, making her 50th career start in a Providence uniform. And that experience has showed. Providence weathering the storm in these final 2.5 minutes. Leonard. Grillakis flipping it back to the midfield.
What can they develop here in the next 2.5 minutes as we tick toward penalties?
Leonard keeps it for Butler. Turned into the midfield by Dean. Rothman playing it away. Almost a chance for McNulty. Miller. Swaza.
Crisp passing. Patience. Butler earning it back.
McNulty playing it down for Swaza. She would want that pass back as Crow gives it up to the Friars. Ping-ponging back and forth here in the midfield with under 90 seconds remaining. Fatigue starting to set in.
Oh, surely.
109 minutes of non-stop action. And we're into the final 60 seconds. Penalties looming for both sides. Cleared away by Kloosterman. Rothman will have a chance to throw it in. Quickly now a substitution coming on for Providence. Teresa Durkee running onto the pitch. 30 seconds left in the second overtime. And Alyssa Yarish playing it out for a goal kick. And that might just do it for overtime in Indianapolis. 15 seconds left. And Rodriguez not showing a ton of urgency here for Butler.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
110 minutes, not enough to separate Butler and Providence in the first round of the women's tournament. A trip to the semifinal will be decided in penalties when we come back from Indianapolis.
Providence won. We're headed to penalty kicks.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
have 4 years to help you figure out the meaning of life. Do you realize what a great gift this is?
I think of college as a moment of pilgrimage.
You'll go places you never thought you'd go. You'll meet people you never thought you'd meet. And you will experience things that are so rich that you can hold on to them forever.
We aren't just dreamers. We're doers.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Good things happen when you unleash a Butler Bulldog.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Divine Providence. It's a reason why Providence is making that trajectory toward greatness.
If we get you on this campus and you just walk around for an hour or so, you're going to feel something that's qualitatively different.
Providence College is a place that has helped people think, thrive, and achieve. Divine Providence is right here. Open your eyes.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
A trip to Omaha and the Big East Tournament semifinal on the line. Penalty kicks will decide the winner in Indianapolis. Here is how we got here. Anya Savage on a beautiful ball in from Amanda Kowalski in the first half, flipping it over the outstretched gloves of Shelby Hogan. 1-0 Butler. Then in the second half, an absolute rocket from Hannah McNulty, equalizing the game at 1 apiece. And now Butler's Stephanie Rodriguez, who has led the league all year in clean sheets, came into the match with 9. She is in net first. Butler have never been to a penalty kick shootout in the Big East Tournament. This is their 10th game. And Braun buries the first take.
Well, Rodriguez guessed right, but was not able to get that outstretched hand over to the corner far enough to make the save. Providence converts. Now can Hogan continue her magical run this afternoon, Matt?
She made a few game-defining plays in net for Providence, including a couple of saves on shots that surely would have given Butler the win. Carly Gehring right into the midst of Hogan. Advantage Providence.
Providence 1, Butler 0.
And I believe Hogan has been called for coming off her line. Our central referee, Lucas Smethers, has whistled for Gehring to come back and retake.
Oh,
and a
my.
gift for Butler. Take 2. And this time, Gehring tucks it away.
Oh, my. What a call. And now we are level.
Providence making their 6th consecutive appearance in the Big East Tournament. Twice before, Paul, they have advanced to the next round on penalties. And another clear shot. Providence 2 for 2.
And now can Hogan regroup after that first call? coming off her line, and now to be Savage, who scored for Butler. The only goal in regulation for the Bulldogs. Lines up.
Savage with 9 goals this year for Butler. The lefty sails it over the top bar. Advantage Providence.
Providence 2, Butler 1.
And the Friars just look more confident coming to the spot, at least over the first 2 takes. Providence the 6th seed, Butler the 3 seed. Twice before Providence have advanced as the 6th seed. And the Friars again, 3 for 3. This time, Selena Falzerano. And you almost feel like for Butler, this is a must-have from Alyssa Yarish. But with as confidently as Shelby Hogan has been in net, you wonder what kind of psychological effect that has had on Butler. But Yarish calmly takes the kick and is successful.
Back and forth we go, and now Providence can put a dagger here. Can they go 4 for 4?
Shooting for the Friars, 14, Mara Rodriguez.
Mara Rodriguez against Stephanie Rodriguez. And she pushes it past.
Shot is good. Providence 4, Butler 2.
And so it all comes down to this for Butler's Katie Soderstrom.
Next for your Bulldogs, number 2, Katie Soderstrom.
I don't know that you would want any other kick taker for Butler in this position than Katie Soderstrom.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Shelby Hogan can win it with a save.
That is good.
Butler still alive. And now it's Providence's turn. A made penalty here, and the Friars will be headed to Omaha.
For Providence, number 9, Mackenzie Simpson.
Mackenzie Simpson misses wide, and Butler remains alive in Indianapolis.
That is unsuccessful.
Would you expect anything less, Matt, from today's match? As close as they come.
Number 9, Becky Dean.
And now Becky Dean. A make and we continue. A miss and the Friars are Omaha bound. And Dean keeps Butler alive.
That is good. Providence 4, Butler 4.
4-all in this penalty shootout with a trip to the semifinal on the line.
For Providence, number 12, Elena Grolakis.
And now Elena Grolakis, who has played out of her mind in this first round match, steps to the penalty spot. And buries it past Rodriguez.
Now Hogan called on again to send the Friars to Omaha.
Peyton Black will take it for Butler. She must make to continue the shootout. Black versus Hogan. And the Friars are headed to Omaha. Absolute stunner in Indianapolis. The 6th seed does it again. Providence for the 3rd time in the history of the realigned Big East Conference Tournament. The Friars have advanced as the bottom seed.
And how about Shelby Hogan coming up clutch for the Butler Bulldogs in the biggest spot of the season.
Supporting Big East women's soccer.
Shelby Hogan making the save to send the Providence Friars on to Omaha.
Shelby Hogan, we talked about it throughout the course of the second half, making game-defining saves multiple times over the final 45 minutes, and again in penalty shootouts, only fitting that it's Hogan who comes up with truly the game-winning save.
Oh, for sure, Matt. She earned it all day. She showed time and again why she is such a phenomenal keeper. And Shelby Hogan with so many saves in that match. As you mentioned, Matt, time and again, her number was called on to keep the Friars season alive. And sure enough, Hogan able to make it happen.
Providence Friars fans traveling all the way from Providence, Rhode Island. They trailed early and for a long stretch of time before finally finding the equalizer off the foot of Hannah McNulty late in the second half. They have been rewarded for their journey across the country. And those fans will be heading even further west next week, taking a trip to Omaha and facing the second-seeded Georgetown Hoyas. We'll be back with the star keeper, Shelby Hogan, after this.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
For the third time since 2013, the Providence Friars advance to the next round of the Big East Women's Soccer Tournament via penalty shootout. And now standing with a third member of our team, Chelsea Groves, it is the star of the show, Shelby Hogan.
Shelby, you advance in a dramatic fashion in PKs in a moment like this. What goes through your mind with the intensity the entire game?
Well, I think the game was back and forth throughout, so I think we just tried to minimize the mistakes and capitalize on the opportunities, and I think we did a great job in that. I think we had confidence in the team if we did make it to a shootout that we would have the right people step up to the mark, and I would just try to do whatever I could for the team to make the difference.
Butler strikes early in the first half in the 38th minute, McNulty in the 82nd. I mean, how do you just maintain that composure knowing that you play behind the entire game?
Well, I think this wasn't our first time playing from behind, so we had confidence in each other that we could get the job done. It was pretty back and forth, like I had said before, so we knew we weren't completely out of it. It was 1-0, and we knew we just needed to get one, tie it up, and then do whatever it took to get the second. But we just were trying to focus on get that first goal and then take that momentum.
And that final save, when you're in that moment, do you dream about this?
Well, I think that, the shooters did their jobs, and I just stepped up and tried to do whatever I could. So I think we dreamed about it as a team, and I'm really happy we can get to Omaha together.
Best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Matt.
Many congratulations to Shelby Hogan. Thank you, Chelsea Groves. Excellent reporting work on the sideline this afternoon. The Friars advance to the next round. Paul Frischner, And a happy man in Sam Lopes down on the Butler sideline. They will take on the Georgetown Hoyas, who have won 3 consecutive Big East titles. But I'll tell you what, the Friars have the juice.
A tall task to beat the Hoyas, but if anybody can do it, the Friars proved today. They got back to their winning ways, snapped the 3-match losing streak. What were they going to do to turn things around? Well, Shelby Hogan turned things around for the Friars. They answered that question in a big way, and now they'll be going on to Omaha.
For the first time in the history of the newly aligned Big East Conference, the Friars take down the Dogs in the postseason. Now 1-3 all-time against Butler. This is the only one that matters because they stay alive in 2019. Providence Friars advance on penalties for the 3rd time in program history in the newly aligned Big East Conference. So glad to have had you with us along for the ride. It was truly back and forth, and Paul, the Friars showed a different side of themselves in the second half.
Oh, they surely did. In the first half, it was more defensive, but in the second half, they attacked. It was like a light switch flipped on in the second half. They kept attacking, and wow, that was impressive.
Sam Lopes and the Providence Friars advance to the semifinal of the conference tournament, taking down the Butler Bulldogs. The 6th seed upsets the 3. From our entire Rush Media crew here in Indianapolis, so long from Butler.